Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Shanks' mother, our charming and enigmatic redhead, is the most powerful creature in Oda's universe. Yep, based on the scorching hot spoilers from chapter 1158, which just dropped like a meteor into the manga. This idea comes straight from the boiling minds of fans, mixing old clues with brand new reveals, and I'm gonna lay it all out in an epic script while you think, damn, that makes sense. Guys, let's start at the epicenter of the madness. Chapter 1158, titled Rocks vs. Herald, drops a grenade into the lore of One Piece. On the cover, Oda trolls us by revealing the grave of the hero who fought Kaido and vanished. It's Kazuki Moria, the goth zombie from Thriller Bark. But the real juice comes from the flashback. 40 years ago, on Pirate Island, Roger bumps into Rocks Dizabek, the pirate king before the Pirate King, who falls for a mysterious woman and ditches Shaki. The result? They have a son, Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard himself. Just imagine it. Rocks, the ultimate villain, becoming the daddy of one of the darkest antagonists ever. But wait, the theory explodes here. 39 years ago, in God Valley, a red-haired woman shows up, her face hidden, Oda being Oda, carrying two children, Shanks and Shamrock. Shamrock? A new piece of the puzzle, maybe a twin or some crazy clone. This redhead isn't just anyone. The theory paints her as Shanks' mother, and not only that, the most powerful living entity. Here's why. In chapter 1095, during the God Valley flashback, we see the celestial dragons hunting natives, and Garland Figureland, probably the Herald in the spoilers, a common mistranslation, is the brutal champion. He clashes with Rocks in a hockey duel that knocks them both out, ending an unlikely alliance. Garling uncovers something in God Valley that Imu would love, maybe a secret about divine bloodlines. So why is Shanks' mom OP? She appears right in the chaos of God Valley, carrying babies like it's a picnic. In chapter 1096, Roger and Garp rescue slaves, including Ivankov and Kuma, but Shanks is found inside a chest-like treasure. Theory: this redhead hid him there, using insane powers to survive the massacre. It's fun to imagine her as a red-haired Valkyrie, kicking celestial dragon asses while rocking the babies to sleep. No beating around the bush. This scene ties back to chapter 434, where Whitebeard says Shanks came from a noble family. Boom! A celestial clue. Now, let's dig deeper into Shanks' roots. The theory argues his mother isn't a normal human. She's a primordial force, maybe tied to the Ancients or the D, making her stronger than Yonkos and Admirals combined. Back to chapter 1158. Garling accepts the Gorosei's offer to fight Rocks. Their hockey clashes like titans, but who survives it all? The mysterious redhead, showing up right after with the children. In chapter 1085, Imu reveals dark powers, destroying Sky Islands. What if Shanks' mom is the counterbalance? A red-haired goddess of light. Shanks loses an arm to a puny sea monster in chapter 1, but he masters hockey like no one else. In chapter 1079, he knocks out Kid with just a glance. Maternal inheritance? The theory says yes. His mother, maybe a runaway celestial dragon or ancient entity, infused him with divine hockey. Shamrock, the other child, could be the cursed twin, explaining why Shanks is so calm yet powerful. In SBS Volume 4, Oda jokes that Shanks is the most balanced pirate, balance born from an uber-powerful lineage. No silly repeats, tie it back again to chapter 434, where Whitebeard warns Buggy and Shanks about their special origins. And in chapter 907, the Gorosei bow to Imu, but fear certain bloodlines, maybe the redheads, who escaped from Marijoa. Fun to picture her as a female joy boy, laughing while crushing oppressors. God Valley wasn't just a hunt, it was a cradle for divine heirs. Here's where the theory takes flight. Shanks' mother isn't just strong, she's the most powerful because she manipulates the destiny of One Piece. Based on chapter 1158, she appears in God Valley after the battle, hinting she orchestrated the events. In chapter 1095, Saturn and the elders show up to clean the island, but the redhead escapes with the children. Her red hair? A visual clue. Shanks inherits it, and in chapter 1054, his hockey makes Green Bull retreat like a coward. Direct inheritance. What if she's tied to a mythical devil fruit? In chapter 1044, Luffy awakens Nika, the sun god. But what if Shanks' mom is the moon goddess or something lunar balancing it out? Shamrock could be the dark side, maybe becoming a future villain. In chapter 1158, Rocks abandons Shoki for another woman? Maybe this redhead is the other, making Shanks Blackbeard's half-brother? Crazy, but it fits. Blackbeard hunts fruits for double powers. Chapter 577. While Shanks relies purely on hockey, maternal versus paternal contrast. Now, jump back to chapter 1096. Roger finds the chest with baby Shanks inside. Who put him there? His mother, using invisible powers to protect him. In chapter 580, after Marineford, Shanks stops the war with just his presence. Imagine his mother stopping all of God Valley. Oda hides faces for bombshells. In SBS Volume 98, he laughs about family secrets. Theory, she's stronger than Emu, lurking in the shadows. Deepening the chaos of God Valley, in chapter 1158 shows Garling, discovering something intriguing for Emu, maybe the redhead and her children's existence. Theory, she's the true heir to the empty throne, mentioned in chapter 907, but rejected the corrupt power. Justification, celestial dragons call themselves gods, but they're weak. She, as an outlier, has the real strength. In chapter 1084, Sabo sees Emu on the throne, empty because the redhead refused it, and it's even fun to picture. A badass redhead like a pirate Amazon carrying twins while dodging the Elder's laser beams. Shamrock? Maybe a nod to Clovers of Luck, tying into Irish myths. Oda loves myths. In chapter 434, Shanks and Buggy fight over a treasure map, maybe maternal inheritance of ancient treasures. And in chapter 1114, Vegapunk reveals the world is sinking. What if Shanks' mother knew, guiding her son toward the One Piece? Each clue builds up. From 1158, Redhead appears, to 1059, Blackbeard attacks Hancock, hunting bloodlines, painting her as a titan. Shanks passes the straw hat to Luffy in chapter 1. Maybe his mother's order to foster freedom. In the final arc, Shanks confronts his mother, revealing her as the most powerful of all. Based on chapter 1158, with no break next week, Oda is speeding toward this. Supporting it, in chapter 1076, Shanks mentions old friends, maybe including Mom. And what if she's the shadowy figure behind the Yonkos? In chapter 1121, Emeth awakens ancient power, a parallel to the redhead awakening in God Valley. Imagine if she shows up in chapter 1200, knocking out Emu with a single slap and saying, "Shanks, dinner time." Seriously though, her strength explains why Shanks avoids fights. He knows he inherited something overwhelming. In SBS Volume 87, Oda calls Shanks mysterious. There's a maternal subtext there. Now hold on to this. If Shanks' mother really is this overwhelming entity, maybe her name hasn't been revealed yet because the name itself would be a spoiler. Think about it. In One Piece, names carry weight. Joy Boy, Emu, Nika. If her name is tied to lunar mythology, like Selene, Hecate, or even something like Lunaria, it would immediately hint at an ancient origin or a connection to the Lunarians, that winged, insanely resilient people that King represents. Here's the final twist. What if she's the missing link between the D and the Lunarians? Remember chapter 1023, where Marco explains that the Lunarians lived atop the Red Line and were worshipped as gods? What caused their downfall? Maybe a conflict with the first Tenryubitos, and Shanks' mother could have been a survivor of that cultural genocide. That would explain her absurd strength, her flaming red hair, and even how she survived God Valley, carrying 2 children while the world fell apart. She might have been the last lunar queen, carrying the legacy of a destroyed people. This also ties into the mystery surrounding the true history of the Void Century. In chapter 1110, Vegapunk reveals that the D challenged the ancient gods, but who were those gods? What if Shanks' mother is a direct descendant of those entities, and Shanks' birth was an attempt at balance? Oda has always worked with opposites, Sun and Moon D, and Emu, freedom and order. Shanks would be the point of balance, and Shamrock, his twin, or clone, or counterpart, could embody the side that lost. And here's another bomb. Remember when Shanks shows up in chapter 907 to talk to the Gorosei? They treat him with extreme respect, almost reverence. Why? The guy's a pirate. But what if they know he's the son of the only person who could actually stand up to Emu? They don't touch him because they know she's still alive. Maybe hidden, maybe weakened, maybe just watching. And that's why Shanks acts with so much diplomacy. Not because he's kind, but because he carries the responsibility of not awakening something even more destructive, his own mother. And look at how it all fits with that detail from chapter 1096. Roger finds Shanks inside a chest. What if that chest wasn't just a hiding place, but a seal, a protection his mother made to prevent outside forces from detecting the child? Something like a moon chest, isolating his hockey until he was ready. That would explain why Shanks only awakens his true power later. Maybe he hasn't even reached his peak yet. What do you think about all this? What did Shanks' father really find? Were they really talking about the 2 children, the ones born to serve Imusama? That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.